Still on Breakfast Central, repairs on the damaged portion of the Abuja-Kaduna rail line will commence immediately as Nigeria's federal government is considering recruiting locals for security at black spot areas. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, made the disclosure during a visit to victims of the attack on a Kaduna-bound train by gunmen.
He said following the directive by President Muhammadu Buhari to fix the rail and make it usable, the ministry has set modalities in place to commence work immediately. We have our public affairs analyst, Nemeka Obiareri, who joins us now for more analysis on this development. Good morning and many thanks for joining the program. Now, we've witnessed two major attacks on the country road tracks, within the space of 6 months or less. And it seems as though the government isn't doing enough. How would you react to this ugly development?
This should have been avoided. You know, we are very reactionary in this part of the world. There is nowhere in the whole world that this kind of thing will happen, not once, not twice. Is it not the same railway, Nigerian railway, that had diesel shortfall along the road? A scheduled journey was abandoned because they did not put enough diesel on the locomotive. So it's our culture, it's our way of doing things. It's avoidable because one, the minister is already talking about putting the local security along the black spot. Didn't they realize it before now that the Kaduna-Abuja lane had always been very problematic? Did this have to happen before them to have arranged security? No. It's the same thing with our oil and gas sector, where we have pipeline ventilation, where 200,000 barrels are produced at the drilling point and only 5,000 get to the evacuation point along the line. Look at Saudi Arabia. They have over 2.4 million square kilometer landmass. They had 10 times more pipeline than Nigeria, but you will never hear of such incident. They've used technology. They've deployed technology. Even if a fly pitches on any line, they will discover it. So we are very reactionary in this part of the world. Common sense will have told us that when we did a rail line across such terrain, that we should have arranged for security, that should have even put patrol on that road. Why do we even have this incident? From Kaduna to Abuja, it's just one ride 80 kilometers. It's not like Canada that has over 10,000 kilometer road lines. It's not like the US. It's not like Russia that has roads that traverse over 10,000 kilometers. 187 kilometer road between where this thing happened, from where this thing happened to Ash Rock, is 114 kilometers. How come we cannot provide enough security on a corridor that links two of the most important states in Nigeria, Abuja and Kaduna, in this year and dispensation? We bought 26 Tucanos. We bought a lot of helicopter gun posts. How come we do not have helicopter patrol, 24/7 surveillance over that route? That is the kind of country that we are in. Very reactionary. I can bet you within the next 3 months, this thing will happen again. We will cry, we will lament, and we will move on. It has become our part, our culture and ethos in this part of the world. Mediocrity has become part of Nigeria. And that is why nothing will happen. Nobody will be started. Remember, weeks ago, a locomotive from Lagos to Ibadan could not move because the diesel dried up. Oluchi, who was sacked. Did else roll? Nothing will happen. It's the culture, it's the norm. So pathetic, so unfortunate.
All right. Let's talk about the fact that the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, said he had warned about possible attacks on the rail line and tracks in the country, adding that he had requested for necessary digital security and crime prevention equipment that could forestall such disaster. He was talking about this equipment going for 3 billion naira as a den, while dollar was in an exchange rate of about 400 naira. And now it's going to be more than that amount. But what do you make of his statement that he had forewarned of such happening?
What he said is something that requires a national inquest. He made a submission that if we are a sincere nation, there should be a national inquest to unravel who and who stopped him from raising the money to provide this digital security. Let me tell you, it's not unusual. This is Nigeria. I remember in 2007, 2008, I was head of corporate finance in one of the deposit money banks in Nigeria. I had one of the outfits we are working with, a foreign outfit from the US, Philadelphia to be precise. Their rep came into Africa. And what were they trying to do in Nigeria? They were trying to a local bank they can partner with. They were trying to negotiate with NNPC so that they can provide digital security points across the whole onshore areas in Niger Delta where we have crude pipelines, so that if there is any tampering with our pipeline, that people will notice it. And what was their budget then? About $20 million. Those guys were turned back by those at NNPC because they did not care. Anything that will bring about transparency, anything that will bring about security, anything that will bring about openness in Nigeria is never allowed by those in the public sector. Why they do this thing is what I cannot explain. Rotimi Amechi is just expressing his frustration. It is possible, it is true that he raised this matter. If we are a serious nation, what we should have done is to set up an inquiry, set up a commission to investigate what he said. And if it is found to be true, heads will roll. But of course, this is Nigeria. Nothing will happen.
This is Nigeria as it is. Now, let's also not forget that that railway was constructed on the loans that was taken from outside of Nigeria, outside of country Africa. And that particular railway generates 300 million naira a month, a cumulative of 2.4 billion naira in 6 months, in addition to the other rails in Nigeria. But now the 36 state governors under the edges of the Nigerian Governors Forum, that's the NGF, have condemned in strong terms the Kaduna-Abuja train attack, saying that as leaders, that's they themselves, they owe the victims and their relations an apology. But people are wondering, is that really enough? Just an apology?
You see, the same thing we have always argued against building a rail network of that length and allowing it to be managed under the public sector arrangement. Are you aware that even from the reports, I have not yet confirmed it, that in the manifest of that train, they had only about 300 and something names, but that train those coaches were carrying over 900 people. How did the other 600 enter the train? It's the corruption in the public sector. And that is what we are trying to avoid. Go to the United Kingdom. United Kingdom, with a landmass of 243,000 square kilometers, have rail network of over 16,000 kilometers. As efficient as the UK public sector is, they have one of the most efficient public sector, better than even some of our private sector, the best run private sector in Nigeria. Yet in 1993, United Kingdom, understanding the importance of the private sector enterprise in such operations, decided to concession and privatize their rail networks. Why can't Nigeria? Yes, to build railway is very cash intensive, very capital intensive. What stopped us after completing that rail project to ask for bids from some of the best rail operators in the whole world, from Bahn of Germany to the Turkish guys, even bring our own Bayogun Lesi of Global Infrastructure Partners to come and run it for us? I tell you, if a private sector player was managing our coaches and rail network across this Abuja-Kaduna, we will not have this kind of incident. They will have made provisions for security. And now the issue of even the income you're talking about, at 300 million naira revenue, gross revenue, that's about $8 million per annum. The same Nigerian railway has an overhead of over 9.8 billion every year. 9.8 billion to pay 11,000 unproductive staff who are not even supposed to be in the first instance. How can you spend over almost $1 billion to build rail network? Not properly managed, not properly administered, not properly secured, infested with the highest form of corruption, making gross revenue of 3.6 billion per annum, and the overhead of 9.8 billion naira per annum. Where in the whole world is such done? A drain pipe, just like the refineries, that we have spent over $5.6 billion over the last 7 years, and yet we cannot refine nothing. That is the kind of thing that we see in this. Very frustrating, very annoying, very unacceptable. Why wouldn't they concession it? GE came into Nigeria. They wanted to take over some of our rail networks. The same politics, public sector corruption pushed them out and they abandoned it. Nigeria has no business not putting in place the right rail infrastructure. See, let me tell you, this country requires nothing less than 12,000 kilometer rail infrastructure. And these things can be done in 10 years under one of some of the best robust private-public partnership arrangements. Ghana is doing it. United Arab Emirates is doing it. Go around the world. Singapore, similar thing. Why are we different in this part of the world? Nigeria is the only country that is still hooked onto this wicked corruption, pervasive subsidy scheme in the whole of West Africa. Poor countries like Chad, Niger, Liberia, across West Africa have all done away with this wickedness. But we hold on to it. We keep on perpetuating it. We keep on, you see, corruption has become like a DNA code in our blood in this country, among the majority. Why are we like this?
A lot to unravel.
That's a lot of, a lot to answer, no doubt. Well, we want to say thank you so much, political and public affairs analyst Naimeka Obiariri. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to talking to you again in the course of the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right.